Hi everyone, Chief Meteorologist Fry here in the First Alert Weather Center, and we have some interesting weather coming into South Central over the next 2 days. We have two storms that are going to merge right on top of South Central and just bring a really interesting and wide variety of impacts. Things I want you to be prepared for, as it certainly could impact travel conditions both across the city and Anchorage, and certainly across South Central as well. So we're going to get you up to speed and what you can expect. If you are watching live on Facebook, let me know, where are you watching from? What weather questions do you have? As I go through the forecast, certainly let me know if you have any questions. I'll try and get those answered for you. And if you're watching on our streaming device, welcome. If you don't know, we live stream on our smart TV app. So if you have Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, all of those services, you just download the Alaska's News Source weather streaming app, and you can get all these updates live right on your television set as well. Okay, let's get to that forecast. Again, we have issued now a First Alert Weather Day for both Thursday and Friday. And if you haven't seen this yet, this is new to Alaska's News Source this season. When we see significant impacts, something out into the future that could really impact your day, something that you should be watching for, we're going to let you know by issuing that First Alert Weather Day. You see that little logo that just tells you, oh, there's something changing, something that I should pay attention to here, and definitely keep checking back for those updates. So, as I mentioned, we have two storms that are merging here right over South Central. That is going to happen Thursday and Friday. A lot of warm air is going to pump in with both of these storms, and it's going to boost that freezing level up to about 1,400 feet over Anchorage, as high as 2,000 feet over the Kenai Peninsula. So as we see moisture coming in and the ground is still below freezing, we will likely see a period of some light freezing rain. Some snow is likely, some rain mixing in there as well. And then some areas also need to start preparing for strong winds. Anchorage hillside, even overnight tonight, we're going to be watching for those high winds. So here's a closer look at those significant impacts. Again, temperatures, they are going to fluctuate between the 20s and the mid to upper 30s. They're going to go above and below freezing multiple times as these two storms roll through over the next 48 hours. The precipitation is going to be in and out. We will see showers, we will see some dry pockets, and then we'll see some pockets of some heavier precipitation coming in. For the coastal areas, Seward, Whittier, Cordova, this is mostly going to be a rain event for you there at sea level. And we're talking heavy rain, several inches of rain on the way. But as soon as you climb an elevation, Moose Pass, Turnagain Pass, out to the Sterling Highway, we're going to see that fluctuation between some pockets of freezing rain, also some pockets of heavy snow. And then in the lower elevations, we'll see a similar scenario. Anchorage hillside, we're talking more than 4 inches of snow with this pair of storms. But in the lower elevations, again, it's going to be that mixture. And I'm also watching for those winds. It's going to be strong across South Central, and they're going to change. Overnight tonight into tomorrow, they're going to be out of the north. But then after that first storm passes, they're going to quickly switch to the southeast. That's part of the reason why our temperatures are going to fluctuate and our precipitation is going to fluctuate. But it's all going to bring some pretty strong winds. We're talking gusts to 65 miles per hour for the Anchorage hillside, even 40 plus in town, and Palmer and Wasilla, you're included in that as well. So here's the deal. You want to start preparing for these quick changing conditions now. If you do have plans to be traveling out and about on Thursday or Friday. Now, I do want to say the timing and track of these storms is likely going to change. Models are not doing a good job with these storms, and both of those scenarios could change. Now, if the timing and we know if the location, the track of the storm changes, that changes everything. It changes what type of precipitation we get, how much precipitation we get. Again, it changes everything. And we're not dealing with one, we're dealing with two storms that models are not doing a good job with. Each model run is showing a different scenario, and each model is showing a different scenario as well. So I have gathered all of that information, giving you the best forecast of what I think is going to happen at this present time. But as these storms get closer, they're not even close to South Central yet, but as they get closer and we can verify that track and we can verify some of those conditions like the temperature and how warm it is, things will start to change. So I'm going to be updating the forecast. So definitely be checking back for those updates here over the next 48 hours. It's very active across the state of Alaska. This is kind of classic winter in Alaska where we have multiple things happening at the same time. We do have 4 storms that I'm tracking. One that's moving through the Bering Strait. We've been talking about that one all week. That's what is still bringing that heavy snow and the wind to the Bering Strait region. It has been nonstop snow for a couple days now in Nome and Gamble, and we're going to see more of that tonight into tomorrow morning. Further south, winter weather advisories are in effect for the Kuskokwim Delta down to Bristol Bay. That is for that impacts of, again, that mixed precipitation along the coast with snow further inland, and that is going to continue for you tomorrow. Now, as we move into southeast, separate storm system there today already brought those higher winds to Prince of Wales Island and near Sitka. Those winds fortunately tapering off now. We're still seeing heavy rain in the area, and that moisture is transitioning to snow along those higher elevations of the Haines Highway and along the Klondike Highway as well. So those areas still seeing snow tonight. Now for Fairbanks, there is a special weather statement in effect. Tells you that the weather's not going to be significant enough, the impacts are not going to be high enough to issue any weather alerts. But again, this is an early heads up that come Friday and Saturday, snow is going to return to the interior, and same story for South Central. The wind, the freezing rain, the snow, none of it on its own is big enough for the National Weather Service to issue a winter storm warning or winter weather advisories for South Central. But a special weather statement is in effect saying, hey, this is an early heads up that things are going to be a little wonky here over South Central over the next couple of days. If you're doing any traveling, you need to be prepared for these conditions. So looking ahead, I want to walk through the timing of this. Again, if you're just joining us, if you happen to be on Facebook, let me know, where are you watching from? What questions do you have about the weather? Okay, so we do have that storm pushing into the Bering Strait, the second one into southeast, and the third moving into southwest Alaska. But it's those 2 southern storms that are going to merge right over South Central. And I don't know that I've seen this particular pattern. Definitely not often have I seen anything like this, that they come in from both directions at the same time. So early tomorrow morning, you can see 1 o'clock here tomorrow morning. This is overnight tonight. We start to see the impacts from that first storm moving in from southeast. It's going to boost those winds on the Anchorage hillside. It's going to bring snow up near Turnagain Pass. It's going to be rain to Seward and Whittier and to Cordova, and we will see chances for some snow at Thompson Pass. But the western side of the Kenai Peninsula for Anchorage and the valley, the mountains are going to block you from most of that moisture. So rain shadow event, but a little bit that sneaks in right now because it is warming will bring us the chance for some freezing rain as we head into early Thursday morning. So that could impact the morning commute. The good news is right now it does not look like a lot of moisture moving into Anchorage or the valley or the Kenai Peninsula. Now, as we head through the day and that moisture continues to work its way to the north, we'll see increasing chances for those light showers to move into Anchorage, to Kenai, down the Sterling Highway, and eventually into the valley. This is the same time that those temperatures aloft and the higher elevations of the atmosphere are starting to warm. So what happens is you get snow that's generated there into the clouds. You know, temperatures are well below freezing up at the cloud level, but then you get a little warm layer of air because that storm is pumping in the heat. So if you get that little warm layer of air, snowflakes come through it, they melt. Snowflakes can never turn back to snowflakes after they melt. Once they're melted, they are rain until they hit the ground. They may be sleet if they refreeze. Those are frozen raindrops. Or they can be freezing rain. That's where it's rain all the way to the ground until it hits that frozen surface. So again, we're watching for that warm layer. Even if temperatures are below freezing in the cloud and below freezing at the ground, the storm itself is going to be pumping in that heat. So that's why we have the wide variety of precipitation types. Now on this map, purple is snow, pink is a freezing rain or snow rain mix, any of that melting snow. And then where you see green, that is rain, and where you see yellow, that is heavy rain. So again, you can see that wide variety of all of those conditions here across South Central. Okay, we're pushing through the day on Thursday. Again, mostly dry conditions for Anchorage, the Valley, and Kenai, while it is dumping rain in Seward and Whittier, and at times snow into those higher elevations. Then it gets interesting as we head into late Thursday night, Friday morning, because two things are going to happen during that time. We are going to see a second round of moisture pushing through with that second storm, but we're also going to see temperatures likely dipping below freezing overnight. So quick period of cold temperatures overnight before temperatures do start to raise again as we head through the day on Friday. Now, I do expect more moisture with that second wave as we head into Friday, and also it's likely that eventually we'll get some cold air on the backside of this storm. The question right now is, will that cold air arrive while the snow is still falling? And if it does, then we get a few inches of snow Friday afternoon through the evening commute on Friday. Once we get into Saturday, we're in the clear. In South Central, we are seeing some snow showers there into the interior. So here's a closer look at those precipitation types that I was talking about. Again, if the column of air between the cloud and the ground is all below freezing, it doesn't matter what's happening in the cloud, but if below the cloud it's all below freezing, that is snow. If it is above freezing, above that 32-degree mark from the ground all the way to the cloud, that is rain. Those snowflakes are melting. A little interesting fun fact, most of our precipitation that's generated in clouds in Alaska starts out as snow in the winter months especially. It's all snow when it's in the clouds, but then if it runs into that warm air, it melts at some point. So again, if it's one or the other, above or below freezing, you get rain or snow, but it's that in-between layer where things get more dicey. Again, if it's warm all the way to the ground and just the ground surface is below freezing, that's what we call freezing rain. That's where it freezes on contact, and that is a mess for drivers. You just get that layer of ice, which makes things very slick. Now, sleet is a little different. Sleet has a wider or longer column of that air below freezing, so it's enough time for those raindrops actually to freeze. You get frozen drops, and so it's kind of like hail, except for it's snow that's melted, turned to rain, and then refroze. And that's not as a concern. We don't get that layer of ice, that ice buildup like we do with freezing rain. I'm not expecting much sleet in this scenario because we will see some warmer air closer to the ground. So here's a look at that statewide forecast again across the state. If you're in Southeast, the good news for you is the winds are starting to taper off. It's still breezy, gusts of 40 to 45 miles per hour across much of the region tomorrow, but not that extreme wind in Sitka and Ketchikan like we saw today. You will, however, still see heavy rain. Sunrise to sunset, it is going to be wet in Southeast tomorrow. Into the interior, this does not arrive to your area until Friday. It will be an all snow event for you. So until then, just a little bit of cloud cover increasing and temperature still warming. It will be above freezing in Healy up to 34 degrees. Temperature still warming along the slope back into the mid to upper teens, but again, quiet, dry weather for you. Out west, we are still seeing some light snow tomorrow in Kotzebue and Nome. We're still seeing some heavy snow and strong winds in Gamble. Still seeing heavy snow, several inches of it, likely in Bethel with a high temperature of 30 degrees. Into the Aleutians, again, Dillingham seeing heavy snow, likely some rain mixing in midday. Wind gusts for you to 40 miles per hour. Winds dropping a little bit in St. Paul, Adak, and Unalaska. Still strong winds in Cold Bay, but again, not the extreme wind that you have been seeing. Looking ahead to the next 7 days for the interior, light snow is likely late Friday. Again on Saturday, temperatures drop from the 20s back to the teens, back to the single digits by next week, and yes, eventually even dropping back below zero early next week. For South Central, again, where these two storms are merging in the next 24 hours, we will see breezy winds increasing across the Kenai Peninsula tomorrow, 20 to 25 miles per hour, a bit higher in Kodiak, gusts of 40 miles per hour for you. But look how warm it is, not even dropping below freezing tonight in Homer or Seward. Highs in the low 40s for you, mid 20s for Kenai and Soldotna, with high temperatures there back into the upper 30s. For Prince William Sound, again, snow rain mix in Whittier, but it's going to be mostly rain, 40 degrees for your high temperature, 45 mile per hour wind gusts. Valdez snow rain mix, Cordova snow rain mix, but again, as those temperatures warm to the 40s, that'll quickly change to rain. Drier conditions when you get north of Thompson Pass into the Copper River Basin. For the valley, chances for some light showers mainly in the second half of the day. It's not going to be much. It's all pretty light stuff. Main impacts for you will be those breezy winds up around 30 miles per hour and the warm temperatures. Things will start to get a little slushy in the afternoon. Still in those low to mid 20s overnight tonight, but as we head through the day tomorrow, you can see those high temperatures quickly pushing back into the mid to upper 30s. For Anchorage, 22 tonight. Still seeing those temperatures sliding below freezing overnight tonight. Not much colder than it is right now. We will see the winds ramping up overnight out of the east, northeast, about 25 miles per hour in town, gusting to near 40 miles per hour. And then we'll see again those higher winds. Anchorage hillside overnight tonight. Be prepared for those stronger winds. We will see wind gusts to about 65 miles per hour. Snow showers above 1,400 feet tomorrow and Friday. We're talking over 4 inches for those highest elevations of Anchorage. In town tomorrow, little freezing rain, some flurries, some light rain. It'll all be pretty light stuff. That changes as we head into Friday. Girdwood, however, if you have plans to travel south on Seward Highway, you are going to run into a snow rain mix in Girdwood, snow for the higher elevations, rain mixing in the lower elevations. We'll see high temperatures for you back near 40 degrees there tomorrow. Also seeing those wind gusts close to 45 miles per hour. Again, for Anchorage, first alert weather days in effect for both Thursday and Friday. The impacts Thursday are going to be that light freezing rain. Again, the good news, the saving grace right now is that the precipitation totals do look relatively light on Thursday, especially in town, north side of town. Now, south side, hillside, you will see a little bit more moisture. Now come Friday, that moisture level increases and temperatures drop, which means eventually we should see a change from that light rain and freezing rain, snow rain mix back to all snow. And right now there is enough moisture that we should get at least a few inches of snow. Looking over here at Facebook, I can see that there are a few of you chiming in. Looks like from Muldoon, from Wasilla. Hello to all of you, even California. Weather's very different. I assume they're in California, probably seeing much warmer conditions there, hopefully. So again, this is again on its own, the wind, the rain, the freezing rain, the snow, none of it is big enough that we have winter storm warnings or advisories in effect. Of course, we've seen much more extreme conditions in Anchorage and across South Central. So it's not that it's a big, massive winter storm. It's just it's a little tricky, and it's just going to bring such a variety of conditions across town. Again, if you're driving from the hillside into Midtown, if you're driving from Eagle River into Anchorage, even going from, say, Huffman and New Seward to downtown, the impacts are just going to change from one side of town from the other, also from 1 hour to the next, just because we've got these 2 storms coming in, things are changing. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we do not have an excellent high confidence forecast with these storms. The track is still wobbling around, and we are still seeing some timing differences within the models. So all of that changes the impacts on the ground, of course, but we are monitoring that and watching that very closely as we have been all week. And as we see any changes, we're going to update this forecast. You're going to see the forecast updated on the broadcast news. You're going to see it updated on our website, on our weather app. If you don't have the First Alert weather app, please download it so you can get that information. That's really the only way that we can send a notification to you to say, hey, pay attention. This is something significant you want to watch out for. And all of those forecasts, I should mention, on our weather app come from us, the meteorologists here at Alaska's News Source. We are updating that multiple times a day. So Aaron Morrison in the morning, me in the afternoon, Jackie Purcell in the evening, Bailey Braun here through the weekends. We're keeping that updated multiple times a day so that you have the most recent forecast from a human meteorologist, not just from a computer or a weather model. So we do hope, of course, that that information is helpful to you and something that you can use to plan your day. Thank you for joining me here on Streaming Live, and we'll be back here on Alaska's News Source Live again at 10 p.m. with those latest impacts. I hope you have a great evening, and please stay safe.